Happy Halloween to anyone who's not watching this on Halloween. Happy normal day where I'm just wearing a witch's hat. Oh God, I didn't think this through. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's EJ Marino and welcome to About Last Night, the show where I talk about the movie I saw last night. This witch hat tells you anything. I am so excited to jump into my movie. Yes, I am talking about the new Suspiria. If there was ever a movie that fits me so well as a viewer and a critic, it's Suspiria. This new film is just magic. I know, no pun intended, about witchcraft, but this movie is magical, it's hypnotic, it's bewitching, it's all these weird adjectives for making me feel like I just experienced the weirdest acid trip of my life. There is so much to dive into this movie. I just want to say first things first, if you've never seen the original Suspiria, check that out. It is a classic Italian horror film. Dario Argento is a fantastic director. Check out all of his work, but check out Suspiria specifically because that movie is so great and it inspires what makes this movie so great. This is more of a remake or a reimagining or maybe a light sequel. Don't know exactly what to call this, but that adds to the mystery, to the overall the surreal feeling of this. Like, I don't know what I just saw, but I think I like it. That's how you feel after watching this, of like, that was an assault on the eyes, but I want more. That's how this movie left me feeling. I wanted more. I wanted to live in this weird world of Suspiria. Director Luca Guadagnino did so good crafting a world that felt real and that felt lived in. There was no time to be like, well, that's what this is and that's what. No, he thrust you into this world and you just have to just be like, I'm going to I hope I can follow along. And I don't think it's that confusing. If you're worried you need to see the original or anything like that, no. You could have watched the original day in and day out and still be confused and lost by all the madness of this new Suspiria. The best way I could describe this movie is if Showgirls and Black Swan had a baby. And I mean that in the nicest, most complimentary way ever. Showgirls is one of my favorite movies. Black Swan is an iconic Darren Aronofsky film. But if you mix those together, you would get this weird world of Suspiria and this weird story. Because this story it's familiar to a lot of us. Susie, played by Dakota Johnson, is a girl who's trying to find her place in the world, so she goes to this esteemed ballet school that she is in love with. She's felt a connection with them, and she saw them, I think, 3 times, she said, in New York. She traveled all this way to find them. So she's like, I am destined to be here. Boy, did I have so many questions of how destined she was. But yeah, that's what, I think this story's familiar. An American girl goes to this school overseas, trying to find her place in the world, trying to grow up. I mean, she's fresh into this world. She's virginal, she's not too experienced with other people. I mean, she was like an Amish or a Mennonite on a farm. No, it's an interesting backstory with her character. But so she's new and fresh. She's us. We are her character. We're supposed to be like, oh, what's happening? Until halfway through when her character is accepting the weirdness. Dakota Johnson's character she's layered way more than I thought she would be. If you know Dakota Johnson, she was from 50 Shades of Grey, 50 Shades Darker, 50 Shades Freed. Oh boy. Oh, but she's erased all of those memories out of my head. As much as I don't hate the 50 Shades movies, I think they're fun, campy, bad movies, but this movie, she has found her pairing with Luca Guadagnino. He brings out the best of her. She brings out some great directing from him. I love this team. I love her in this film. I got a nuanced, layered performance from Dakota Johnson. That is a sentence I never thought I would say, but I am just utterly impressed with what she did, what they did to craft her character for us to be like, she's interesting. She's a dark, weird character, and I love seeing that. You cannot talk about dark characters or great actors without bringing up Tilda Swinton. Oh my Satan. This woman is one of the best actresses to ever grace our screens. She plays, I think she's credited as 3 characters. I know for sure she plays Madame Blanc. She also plays Joseph the psychiatrist, and I believe her to play the decrepit older woman, the older witch lady. I don't know if that's exactly who she is, but she is for sure playing Madame Blanc, which is an amazing turn from Tilda Swinton. Another layered performance where I was like, oh, she's the villain. She's trying to do this. No, is she? What is her point? What's she doing? What is she doing now? I love that. Once again, the writing is so great for these characters, but their acting, the way their face subtly changes in a scene, you get it. You love it. But also, she plays Joseph, which is this man character. If you know Tilda Swinton, she's played men before. She played Gabriel in Constantine. She has played David Bowie in things. She's also was in Doctor Strange as the Ancient One. Though this Ancient One wasn't an old Asian man, but she felt like an old Asian man. So Tilda playing a man was not a shocking thing. What was shocking was how good Joseph was in this movie. I felt his acting. I felt the pain and the confusion of that character. And that's something that I thought would get lost behind all these prosthetics and Tilda, trying to gender bend a role. There was a lot going on, but what an amazing performance. I should expect nothing less from Tilda Swinton, who is like a fantastic piece of the resistance of an actress. But I'm more impressed with her than I was going into this movie. What really stands out in the satanic version of Showgirls is the amazing craftsmanship to this film. Everyone from the score done by Tom York, the frontman for Radiohead, an amazing composer. His work was haunting and hypnotic. There was times where I'm lost into the screen just as much as one of the characters. I'm getting hypnotized by this movie. So his score is amazing. The camera work. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the cinematographer's name and mess that up, but the cinematographer, oh my Satan. What an amazing job. I mean, the camera felt like it was another character. The camera moved with us. The zooms used, it was so 70s. A lot of times in movies nowadays, when I went to film school, they told us zooms were not professional and you shouldn't do them. They're out of date. Well, if you see this movie, it feels like you need zooms again. The way they would just pan to a shot and zoom in on a character, it was just so dramatic. It really punched in those moments. The way the camera moved around dance scenes, the way it was edited, everything, the musicality of this film. Musicality, if you don't know, is basically how we move or how we act to music and how we feel it and how we flow to it. Everything was cut to the music. The way someone's arm would move and the way the camera would cut and the score would do, everything just worked. It was an overall assault on the senses. Everything was thrown at you, and I loved that. Just the pure art that went into making this movie. I love the original Dario Argento for the weird zooms, for the weird colors, but this film looks so beautiful. Luca Guadagnino with his previous film, Call Me By Your Name, he basically did like Italian porn, like the Italy porn, all the buildings, the summer. It looked gorgeous. But with this movie, everything either looked gorgeous or I wanted to wash myself after. I needed to clean myself because it was so grungy or dirty looking. He perfectly encapsulated this time of period in Berlin with the politics going around, with just the way Germany or all of Europe actually was at that time. It was perfectly encapsulated in this film. Everything about this movie is top notch. This movie does do a great job of juggling all its pieces together. There's a lot going on. We have the psychiatrist subplot. We have Patricia, played by Chloë Grace Moretz. She's trying to escape the coven / the ballet school. We also have Sarah, who's played by Mia Goth, trying to figure out what the hell happened to her friend Patricia, what the hell's happening to her new friend Susie. She is lost in trying to figure it out. So we have the psychiatrist, we have Patricia, we have Sarah, we have Madame Blanc and all the other witches who run the coven. Then we have Susie at the center of all of this. This is a lot happening at one time, and I think for the most part, they juggle everything well. There was times where I was like, we could have cut out the cops in this movie. Sure, we could have shortened this up, tightened this up. This movie could have been maybe 20 minutes shorter. I love a long movie. I mean, I've seen the director's cut of all of Nymphomaniac. That's 5 hours. I love, oh God, Kenneth Branagan's Hamlet, a long movie there. I like a long movie, but this movie it didn't need it. There was times where I'm like, I liked living in this world. Just shorten up, just tighten up certain scenes. I know the 70s were known for these long takes, and it just felt like, when are we gonna cut? When are we gonna leave? That's what this movie was trying to feel. But I was just a little like, I didn't ever want to stop and like look at my clock or, been like, okay, how long, much longer? It wasn't that dry and that boring, but there was just scenes that I was just like, like this movie is broken up into 6 acts. You could have done a good 4-act structure with the epilogue. I was already done by the epilogue. The 6th act is such an assault. By the time the epilogue got there, I was just like, I guess this is a good way of letting us down. Like, after the roller coaster, you have to go down a little bit. But I was just like, I didn't really get anything from that epilogue, where the ending after the 6th act, ending right there would have been amazing. It's bold. We got a good ballet number, and then we got that insane finale. That finale. I didn't love the slow-mo in the finale, but this entire finale was just gory and graphic and shocking and scary. I loved the ending of this movie, so much so that once we got to the epilogue, I was just like, well, I hope I don't forget how much insanity just happened, because we have to wrap up this one piece with a psychiatrist. I don't know, that was my only complaint, was the epilogue, and some of the scenes just could have been a little shorter. So that's it for my witchy review of Suspiria. I love this film. If you're a fan of art house cinema, if you're a fan of weird horror films, go see this movie. This is the movie we, as these art house fans, have been waiting for. I love Hereditary. I loved Annihilation. You Were Never Really Here's a great movie. There's been some strong, weird, artful indie, all these weird, non-mainstream films. But Suspiria is at the top of my list yet. Like, yes, that's what I'm saying. Suspiria is my favorite movie of the year. It has knocked Hereditary out of that top spot. Now, poor Star is Born's been knocked down to 3, but so what? Suspiria, this movie's so great. I recommend everyone go see it. Thank you so much for tuning into my review. Please give me a thumbs up if you like this review. Also, don't forget to comment down below. Are you gonna watch Suspiria? Are you a fan of the original? What did you think of this review? Comment down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I make videos like this every single week. And thank you so much for tuning in to a new About Last Night.